Hey Fit Fam, Adrienne Dion here, and I am super excited about today's lesson, fit lesson number 3. And we're talking all about fat burning and body sculpting tips that you need to know. So I hope that you guys have been enjoying the community so far. Just want to say that you'll only get out what you put into it. So make sure you guys are participating, that you're uploading pictures and videos. Any questions you might have, please drop them in the feed. Make sure that you're doing your weigh-ins and that you are participating in the discussions that we have as well. So tonight's lesson is very informative. If you don't have a pen and paper or notes, I suggest you get something to write some notes down because it's a lot of really good information. And so I'm excited to get started. All right, we're not going to prolong the time, so let's get started. Um, we are in week 3, and so I know that a lot of you guys kind of have already started your process, but tonight's lesson is a little bit different because I feel like it's all the secrets and the little tips that a lot of people use to build their programs, but they don't necessarily tell you that this is what they're doing and this is why you're getting results. So you have to pay for a lot of that stuff tonight or today, whenever you're watching it. You're getting this completely free. So I really suggest that you implement each and every one of these things into your plan and your program, like to build for you, because all of it is really, really good for getting results. So let's jump in. First off, we have to discuss what's your goal. I think that when a lot of people start out, you ask the average person what do they want to do. If it's a female, she wants, a small waist, you want to build a big booty, nice legs, or want to tone up. And if it's a guy, they'll say, they want to look defined, they want some abs, they want to look muscular. Normally that's what everybody says. But you guys have to realize, everybody has to realize that there is a process to getting that ideal image that you want. If you think about baking a cake, you wouldn't just get all the ingredients that you need, put them in the oven and just bake it. No, there's a process to it. You take all your dry ingredients and mix those together, measure out everything. You have to take your liquids and put them together, then you mesh it all, and then it's a process to it. Then you put it in the oven and it bakes and it comes out that way. So that's the same way you have to think about fitness. There's a process to everything, and you have to make sure that you're using the right process in order to get that ideal result that you want. So for our purposes, I think that mainly what most people want, you're either wanting weight loss, which consists of fat loss with muscle retention, or you want to build muscles, and that is like a two-phase process as well. So let me just first talk about the weight loss. A lot of times when people are wanting to lose weight, it's very important that they do it in a certain way, because when you are losing weight, ideally you're taking the fat, you're burning the fat, you're trying to lose the fat, and the only way for you to see that muscle or that shape or that curve that you want is by taking away the fat that's on top of it. You can't see muscles over fat. So a lot of times people are a little chubby, but they want to build muscle, and it's really hard to do unless you first take the fat away. So when you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to tone up, ideally what you want to do is you want to be in a fat loss program. Now, on the other hand, when you're wanting to build muscles, there is a bulking phase that you have to do. You have to grow your muscles, and then after that, you have to go through a cutting phase where you cut that little bit of fat, because you're always going to have some fat when you're bulking. So then you have to go back and kind of shave that fat off so that you can see the muscles that you've grown. So there's always a two-part in that whole building muscle situation. So ideally, before you go and you start working and you put in all that effort, you want to know what's your goal and what's the best way to get you there. I think a lot of times when people first start out, they're trying to do so much at the same time that they're not going to see results, which causes them to quit. So it's important to know what your goal is, what season or phase you're in. If you're in a weight loss, fat loss situation or phase, then you want to know what you need to be doing in that part. And I say muscle retention because you cannot lose and gain at the same time. I a little bit when you first, if you're like new to weightlifting, yeah, you're gonna gain a little bit of muscle because you're tearing it and it's repairing itself, but it's not gonna last a long time. So what you want to do when you're trying to lose fat is maintain the muscle that you have, and when you do that, that's going to give you a curvier shape, a more toned look, because the fat has come off so you can see the muscle that's there. So in that fat loss stage, you want to maintain the muscle, retain the muscle that you have. And you have to be careful because if you're like doing a bunch of cardio and stuff like that, and you're not doing weight training, then you're going to lose that muscle right along with that fat. So it's important to combine or have a combination of things that's going to help you lose the fat and retain the muscle. And we're going to talk all about it in just a little bit, but it's important to know what's your goal and the things that are going to help you achieve that goal. So we talked about it so many times. I want to reiterate again that your diet is the most important thing. 80% of our results are going to come from what we're eating. So if you're trying to burn the fat, if you're in that weight loss stage, you have to be in a caloric deficit. Most people are going to lose weight with their calories being 10 to 12 times their body weight. So what I mean by that is if we get a calculator and say I weigh 150 pounds, then of course at the lowest amount, you're going to do 10 times 150, that's 1,500 calories. Now let's say we're doing 12, so 12 times 150 is 1,650, I think. 12 times 150, 1,800. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry. 1,800. So that's the most calories you should be consuming in a day. Normally, the way I like to do it is to do the middle mark, which is 11. So that way I know, like, if I'm eating 11 times 150, 1,650, that's where I got that number. Then that's kind of the middle mark. And if at any point I feel like I'm not losing at the rate that I want to, I can scale that down to 10 times my body weight. And if I feel like, I'm just way too hungry in the day, that I'm not going to be able to sustain this, then I can go up to 12. So it kind of just gives me a little room to work with. But this is how you determine how many calories you should be eating in a day when you're in that weight loss stage. It's important that you use your food, your diet as the main method of weight loss, not like cardio or weight training. Those things are for something else, which we'll discuss in a minute. But you want to make sure that your food is the main thing, that method that you're using to burn fat or in your bulking phase. Now, if you're in the bulking phase, you have to be in a caloric surplus. That means you need to be eating a lot more than you're burning. So 16 times your body weight is the lowest number of calories you should be consuming in a day. It's very, very important that you guys, if you're new to this and you haven't ever tracked your food, that you use an app like MyFitnessPal or My Macros to kind of track your food so that you know if you're in that range or not. It's really hard to tell if you've never done it. If you're like, your portion sizes are okay, but use MyFitnessPal to just scale it. And once you get used to it and you kind of know how things are and how much is too much, or you can add more to it, you'll you'll get used to it and you won't have to track everything. But starting out, I would do this, 10 times or 16 times, however, whichever one that your phase that you're in, and track your food so you make sure that your calories are on point and you will see a difference. So I'm going to go into the tips that I have for burning fat. One of the main things that I really, really love is intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is just a eating pattern where you cycle between periods of eating and fasting. So for me, I use like a 16-8 ratio, meaning that I only eat in an 8-hour period. So from 10 to 6 is my eating window. Some people do 8 or 12 to 8. That's their ratio. The 16-8 ratio is really good for women because anything less than that kind of messes up our hormones. So I would stick to something around um, this ratio, but it really helps because it helps to control your hunger. When you're only eating in that 8-hour window, you're eating a lot of food and your body is not really like hungry. So it gets used to and adjusted to that eating period. So it keeps you from overeating, and it really just helps to create a discipline, something that where like, okay, I can't eat after this. And it just helps you to stay on track. So intermittent fasting is very, very good when you're trying to burn or bulk. The main thing you have to remember though is that you still, even if you close the window smaller or you enlarge it, you still only need to eat the calories, stay in that calorie range that we talked about earlier. So even if you're only doing a 4-hour eating window, you still need to be getting in those, say, if I was doing the 10 and 10 times 150, you still would need to consume 1,500 calories. Now, it can be challenging when you're first trying to do it because it's like a lot of food in a small amount of time, but your body will get adjusted. But do what's comfortable for you, and depending on your lifestyle, what you want to do. Some people like to go a little bit later because, they may socialize and they can still eat and go, do those types of things. Or if you're like getting up really early in the morning and you want to use your window to go up like 8 to, I don't even know what, 8, 6 or 4, then that's up to you, but you can change it and do it the way that you want to. So that's what I really love about intermittent fasting. The second one is one cheat per week. Now, I love this. I love having my cheat every week. And studies have shown that it really helps to boost your metabolism. So when you throw a cheat meal into the mix, remember we were talking about being in a caloric deficit, then your body, it makes your body think that food is plentiful. So if you go on a caloric deficit for too long, like, have you ever heard of like people saying, oh, only eat 1,200 calories a day? Well, that may be way too low, like that. It's not in that range of 10 to 12. So a lot of times your body will go into starvation mode because it feels like you're starving it doesn't have enough nutrients and it doesn't have enough food. So what it does is hold on to fat, and you will not lose weight. And it's very unhealthy and dangerous. That's why I say that 10 to 12 range. But even when you're in a caloric deficit and it is healthy, your body, because it adjusts, it'll start thinking that, okay, well, food is scarce. But when you throw that cheat meal in, it tricks the system into thinking, okay, we have a lot of food, and it just goes to start burning fat. And it's really good because that boosts your metabolism, and you want your metabolism up higher because that's what's going to burn the fat. It actually increases the levels of leptins, which is the anti-starvation hormone that tells your brain that it's hungry or it's not hungry. But it's really, really good for that. The things to remember about this is that it's one cheat meal, not a cheat day, but a cheat meal. You don't want to undo everything you've done the whole week, because it's really easy to pack on calories. So you have to be very careful of this. Now, my meal consists of I do like a little appetizer, an entree, a little dessert. But it really helps because you don't have to feel like you're missing out, or you can still eat your favorite foods. You know, it gives you motivation because you can look forward to that cheat meal. And it just kind of helps you to stay on track for the rest of the week. So just make sure that your cheat meal stays a cheat meal. It's only one per week. And then you go back to eating like you have been eating with your caloric deficit. And that's just going to help you keep your metabolism high. The next tip is full body workouts. Now, I know it's very popular for people to do like leg days and like upper body days, and they may do like split training. But what really works best is full body workouts because it targets multiple muscles at the same time in every exercise. And when you're working out multiple muscles, you're burning more calories, and you're going to have better effects. So you cannot spot reduce. I know a lot of us would love to just like work on our booty and our stomachs if you're a woman, or, you know, guys, you know, you'll see them, they'll just love to work out the upper body, but the legs real skinny. See, full body workouts really help with this because everything will look proportioned. Your body anyway will only take fat from where it's genetically predisposed. So what that basically means is wherever you gain weight first, it usually takes away the fat from that area first. So that's why when you first, it was cute when you first started, you know, gaining weight. You like, oh, my butt getting big. Hey. Well, when you start to lose weight, your butt's probably gonna go first. So it's just how it is. It kind of works genetically wherever, you know, your body takes fat from, it just does. You can't spot reduce. But if you're working your full body, everything will stay proportion, and it'll really work out to your best bet. Um, Also, working full body, you only have to work out 3 to 4 times a week. I know a lot of times with the split workouts, people are working like 5 to 6 times a week because they're trying to hit every single muscle. But when you're doing full body workouts, then you can hit a lot of muscles at the same time. And I made a really a note down here about increasing your weights accordingly. And I just kind of want to explain the importance of working out in the gym or with weights. It's because your body adjusts. And so when you're like working out body weight, your body gets used to that, and so it doesn't challenge. What happens when we're like working out is that we're actually tearing our muscles, and when we're resting and we're feeding our body with the nutrients and the stuff that it needs, it rebuilds those muscles, and it rebuilds it most of the time bigger and stronger. So whereas if you're using a 10-pound weight and it was tearing your muscles at first, your body's built bigger muscles that are strong enough to handle that. So now when you use a 10-pound weight, you're not going to burn calories or anything because it's not really a challenge. So that's why you always want to continue to increase your weights. And that's why a lot of times home workouts will get you results, but only for so long. So it's really good that if you are going to work out at home, that you invest in weights and stuff that you can continue to challenge your body. I also made a note about do not rely on cardio as the main method of weight loss, because cardio and working out in the gym is a way of sculpting your body. It's not, it's a meant to assist the weight loss. That's why a lot of times when people go in and they're working out, but they eat like trash, they see no results, because you have to use your diet, what you're eating, as a way of, you know, gaining weight or losing weight. And the workouts and the cardio is, you know, really an assistant to that. Also, cardio can't really build muscles for you. And what's going to happen is that it's actually going to start burning your muscles. And we want, when we're trying to lose weight, to maintain and retain those muscles we have, not burn through them. So that's very important that you guys know that information. Full body workouts are the way to go. And so I just wanted to include a way of, you guys creating some workouts. Of course, you can always Google full body workouts. You'll find so many workouts. But the way that I do it is I use compound exercises. Compound exercises use multiple muscle groups at the same time, and so you're working the whole full body. And what I normally do is just pick from the different groups, and that's what I work out. So I'll take like 2 from chest, 2 from back, 2 from shoulder, do a couple ab exercises, couple compound leg exercises, and then I work out my arms using some of the compound exercises, and that's how I design my workouts. And you can work 3 times a day, depending on your schedule. If you want to work out more the better. But think about you working out your whole body 3 days a week, as opposed to when you're working out splits, you're only working out your arms 1 time a day. So that muscle is only tearing 1 time a day compared to when you're doing it 3 to 4 times a week. You're tearing those muscles, so you're repairing those muscles and building muscles and burning calories a lot more than doing the split training. So full body workouts are the way to go, you guys. All right, hit cardio, and we're almost done. Hit cardio. So if you're like me, this is good news for those people who hate cardio, because I hate cardio. Like, I hate cardio. But hit cardio is high intensity interval training. And so it's shorter, more intense workouts. And this is really good because it helps you to maximize your results while minimizing the amount of time you have to spend working out. With hit cardio, you only need to do it 2 to 3 times per week, only for like 15 to 30 minutes. So I'll give you an example, and it's kind of based on like the high intensity stuff in ratio. So for like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Some people like to do 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. But it's really good because it really pushes you. You get a short period of rest time, and then you push back, and you're like sweating and burning all kind of calories. Like, for example, I'll do like 30-second sprints, 30-second rest, and I'll jump back on for 30 seconds, and I'll do it for a total of like 15 minutes, and that's my cardio for the day. I'm done with my cardio. I've burned crazy calories, and then it's on to the next. I don't have to spend a whole hour on the treadmill. You could do burpees for 30 seconds, rest for 30 seconds, do mountain climbers for 30 seconds, rest for 30 seconds, and just continue that cycle for 15 or 20 minutes, and that's your cardio. So whatever you choose to do, you do it for like 30 seconds or 45 seconds, high intensity, going as hard as you can, and then you rest for a period. There are a lot of hit cardio exercises or like routines and stuff on Google. You can find them anywhere. So just try some. And if you feel like 30 seconds, like the 1-to-1 ratio, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, it's not challenging enough, move it up. You can do 45 seconds and 15 minutes, or you could do a minute of something and then rest for 30 seconds. So it's however you want to design it, but it really helps to burn more calories all day long. The science behind it is that when you're doing intense workouts, when you stop, it takes the body a while to get back to like the way you were before you started working out, which means that it's spending or burning calories to get you back to a resting point. And that's why these calories are being burned even after you stop working out. So it's really, really good. When I was on my program, when I first started, I was doing an hour of cardio every day for 5 days, and my body was not responding. They changed it to where I was doing hit cardio for 20 minutes every day, and I lost 7 pounds in a week. So your body will really, really respond to this high intensity training compared to like this long-winded cardio thing. And who wants to do that anyway? So I'd rather like work hard and get it over with. Fasted cardio is the last tip that I have, but it's super, super good. It uses fat as a source of energy instead of carbs. So basically, what this means is just that you work out on an empty stomach, and because you don't have any food in your system, or you don't have carbs to as a source of energy, it'll use the fat as energy, and we want to burn the fat. So that's really really good. The thing that I want you to remember about this though is that you don't want to do it for a long time, because if you do, it'll start to switch from fat to muscle, and we want to retain muscle. So you want to make sure that you're adjusting your eating window around it. So for instance, um, I'll do my fasted cardio, and if I'm gonna work out, still work out and not split it up. If I'm gonna do my cardio and work out right afterwards, I will always take a protein shake so that I can drink it, and my body can actually have carbs or in something to work off of for energy, and it doesn't go into muscle. Um, Another thing you can do to help retain muscle is drink BCAAs, and that's branch chain amino acids. That's what your body is going to be looking for anyway. And if it doesn't find it, it'll start to burn that muscle for energy. So if you drink the BCAAs, that's going to help it to leave your muscles alone and burn that fat. You can find it. I buy mine on Amazon. I'll put I should have put a picture in here, but I'll post a message on in the group chat so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it's really cheap and it tastes good, so you guys will like it. But the fasted cardio is really good. You want to make sure that you do it before you eat, and like right after you eat, before you finish doing like your weight training and everything. But I think that's it. If you guys have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to let me know. I will be happy to help you guys. And I'm excited because we're getting ready to close out this month and get into month 2 of 2020. And I have some exciting things for you guys. So if you have any questions, reach out, let me know. If not, I'll see you guys in the community. Bye.